Mm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Where's my stuff? Hey, y'all, how we doing? How we doing? If you don't know me, you do now. And if you don't and you're new, then welcome. Hey, y'all, if you don't know me, y'all do now. My name is Nick. Nick for real, or Sassy Amari. But hey, just call me Nick and we're going to get along just fine. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing great. If you haven't read from the title of the video, you already know what's happening. It is 2025 Reading Wrapped. Now, I'm a slow reader, so I read about an average about a book every month and a half. And that's really just the truth. I have nothing else I can say for it. That's just the truth. That is just the truth. Just realized that I didn't have my mic up. I'm about to do this part again. Check it. It is Majin Buu. And if you know, you know. Okay, let's try this again. Hey, y'all, my name is Nick. If y'all don't know my channel, it is Nick for real. If you can't tell by the title of the video, it is going to be the 2025 Reading Wrapped of last year. And the 10 to 12 books I read that year. Mind you, I am a slow reader, so please bear with me. I do try my best to not read only a book every month and a half. But hey, I can't really say much. I really can't. Because at the end of the day, I just read slow, and that's just what it is, and that's what it's just gonna be. So I would say I apologize, but I really don't. But hey, let's get into it. So the books we have are ranging from all different categories, mainly fluffy romance, romance, dark romance, fantasy, and fantasy really. I read a lot. In my opinion, I read more fantasy this year than I normally do any time of the day. I'm not gonna lie to you. To give a little insight about my reading, you do have to understand that I restarted reading. I picked reading back up in 2023 when Fourth Wing first came out. I started with Fourth Wing, and ever since then, I have been reading ever since then, kind of nonstop. I don't take many breaks in reading. It's probably I'm reading a book, and it's taking me a long time to read. And when that happens, that normally means I'm really not feeling the book at that time, and I'm really just not gonna finish reading it. So that's what it is. So let's get into the list. We're going in order, and we're gonna go through in 4 categories. Really 3. First is going to be how I felt about the book when I read it and how I feel about the book now. Number 2, my top 3 favorite characters from that book. And I'll try to give some reasons as to why, but I don't really need reasons. I'm going to just say their name and you should know. Number 3 is if it's a series, am I going to continue reading that series? But if it's an author and it's my first time reading that author, am I going to continue reading that author? Finally, if that question previously gets answered no, I'll let you know why. So let's get into the video and let's get started. So we got about 11 books to go through, and let's go through them as good as we can. Let's go. So the first book we got is Blindsided by Becca Steele. The LSU series. When it comes to any romance, put it in a college setting, I'm eating the book up. I honestly don't know why. Maybe because I'm really a reader of relation. Like, if it relates to me in some way, shape, and form, I'm gonna read it. And I'm gonna read it down. I'm gonna be enjoying it. I'm gonna be picking it up, oh my God. I'll read anything college romance, especially romance. Obviously, y'all already know why. So, we got Blindsided here by Becca Steele. Also, we are adding all the pages up and getting a total of how many pages I read at the end for the year. I don't know why that's important, but I wanted to do that. And we got Blindsided by Becca Steele, first book in the LSU series. It follows Noah and Liam, one being like a quarterback or something. He played football. He played a sport. It was football. It was football. He played football, and they moved. They moved in the same dorm, and the way it started off was Noah crashed into Liam's car. They had an argument, and they ended up being in the same dorm room. So it was a little bit enemies to lovers, but not real enemies to lovers, if y'all know what I mean. Like, they ain't killing each other. So you know, this book here, it was adorable. The writing from Becca Steele, beautiful, beautiful. I love her. I say my top three. And to answer the questions, we're gonna go the way I felt about the book when I read it. I was like, this is great. I read it in a week. I don't read books in a week. That's new. I read it in a week, and I was like, I need the second book. And literally, my mind stopped itself from reading the book because I wanted to get it. I eventually got it on my Kindle, but I wanted to get this specific cover only. Cartoon characters on the books don't bother me, but when you get to putting real motherfuckers on the book cover, I'm not buying that. No, I'm not buying that. So I absolutely loved this down until we got to the second one. The second one outdid this one, and it was much better than this one. So that'll let you know how I feel about the book now. This was good. This was good, but it didn't hit better for the second one. It didn't hit better for the second one. I'll tell you that now. I'll tell you that now. Let me pull it up on my Kindle. Hold up. Yep, I'm gonna check to see if it's still. Okay. So we got Sidelined by Becca Steele, LSU Book 2, Enemy and Romance, in the same timeline as Blindsided, but a few months or so after, because their relationship in Book 1 was established and still going on in Book 2 in the background. But we got Sidelined by Becca Steele, LSU Book 2, and it was pretty good. And I say how I felt about the book when I read it, and even now to this day, still better than Book 1. And between the two characters that were talked about and any of their best friends, that's really all I gotta say. Like, my memory is so bad that I really don't remember a lot when I'm like done reading a few months later. But between these two, all the best friends that they had, at least one or two, they were funny, they were realistic, they were logical and illogical at the same time. They were irrational. They're not saying the same thing. But this was great. This was great. These two here were great to read, and I read them no later than a month and a half from each other. So I read them pretty quickly after each other, if that makes sense. This book had 280 pages. And this one had come on now, 309 pages. So currently we're at 589 pages. Next we got God of Malice by Irina Kent. My opinion comes in a little strong in this book. When I read it and finished it, I was sick of Killian's shit. I really was. I was sick of his shit. Okay? When I say perfect introduction to a series like this, great introduction. Great introduction. The plot twist, the storyline, the characters, excluding Killian, storylines, the way their families are intertwined, and all the BS they got going on. Loved it. Loved her down. Glendon may not be the baddest baddie on the thing, but her friends Annika and Cicely, give me them any day. Those are my home gals. Those are my home gals. I will go to brunch with them. And then give me Nikolai and Brandon. I'll go to lunch with them too. I'll go to brunch with them. Any day of the week, I'll go to brunch with them. Yes. It sounds crazy, but I would go to brunch with them. I would. Killian Carson, keep him at home. Keep him at home. Can't do it. keep him at home. I really don't want to do this. I can't keep him at home. I don't like that man. How I feel about reading this book now is the same way I felt about Blindsided and then Sidelined. Book 2 helped me love this a little bit more. Help me love this a little bit more because it really shows how much goes on in the background of one book that leads to the next few books in the series. And I like this. Like, I don't hate it, nor do I think it's going to be my number one after I read the entire series, which is what I'm going to do before the year is over. I'm going to try to read all the series of Legacy of Gods, or at least try to get to God of Fury at least. But this was great. I liked it for what it was. It was nice. Finally, since it's a series, and go back on the last book, both of those series I would definitely continue to read because the writing is what really sticks to me. When you are a good writer, and I'm not saying that every person is like every person that I didn't read this year was a bad writer. I don't really know how to put that. But when you write good and it's a good storyline with good romance, good plots, good plot twists, it really helps me read a lot better. Like, I'm focused on the book. I'm not distracted, boo. I'm not distracted. This was one of those books where I was not distracted. But mind you, anytime Killian got on the page or started talking about red, red, red. Okay. Dang. Pick another color. Pick a color. Jesus. Nice. Next, we've got Hunting and Hunting Adeline, the Cat and Mouse Duet by H.D. Carlton. These books here are a bit of a conundrum, if you will. Mind you, I probably have no idea what that word means. Truly. This is better than this. This is heavier than this. Both of them together, beautiful. I read this one, and after I got down with the real serious scene, y'all know what I'm talking about. After I got past that and really saw it wasn't really that deep, it truly got so much better. The storyline was there, the spice was there, obviously. It was truly one of my most memorable dark romance reads to date. Because this one here really takes you through some emotions. Even though I didn't cry, I'm not saying you shouldn't be crying, but it takes you through some deep emotions on both sides. Seeing him look for Addie, he ain't playing about his girl now. He ain't playing. He ain't playing at all. At all, because he's not joking when he says don't touch her. And the thing that was going on in that house, I'm glad they got handled. I'm glad they got handled, because I don't play that. This is not Baby Boy. We are not Jody. We don't play that here. I say how I feel about them then. They were both so good because I read them literally back to back. As soon as I turned the last page on this, I ran back in my room to come get this, read them within about a month of each other, like in the same month almost. So I really enjoyed these. And how I feel about them now, still, this one's better than this one, but I can see why people would love this one a lot more, or even just equal then to each other. Would I continue reading H.D. Carlton's writing when it comes to like Hunting Adeline series and like things before and after that? Probably not. I'm satisfied. I don't need my questions answered. I'm good. I'm great. I'm good. I'm great. So we're gonna count up the pages, and I forgot to do God of Malice. The first book had 605 pages. So we're at currently 1,194. The second book had 649 pages. And right now we're at 1843. And adding up God of Malice, 443. We're at 2289. Now, my two most surprising reads of this year that blew me away were these two here. And I'm going to talk about them separately. First is Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This first book here, I listened to an audiobook. I did a lot of audiobook reading this year. I'm not going to lie. This was fantastic. I loved every bit of this. The fantasy aspect, the world building, the boys who just hated them. Like, why you hate them so much? Okay, I'm sorry. And the school aspect of it all. When you, like I said, you give me a school/college setting at an appropriate age, I'm reading that. Reading it. Better stop playing with me. Okay. I'm making sure this video is doing right because if y'all know, iPhone space is not limited. I mean, not unlimited. This here, I have no favorite characters because everyone was my favorite character. I think the one I hurt for the most is the messenger that was sending them their star friend. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, Falling Star. When he died, I was like, why? Why? Why you do that? Why? So if you can't tell by already, I'm definitely wanting to really read through this season. I mean, this series. That got 26 books to read through. But I'm going to read them. Because, hey. But Lord, that's a lot of books. But these two, they can write a book. They really do they be putting their foots in the book. And they be writing it down. Because this was great. This was great. I loved this. Loved it. Loved every bit of it. And I have no complaints. I'm going to continue to read the series. And currently we're on book 2. We're on book 2. This had 434 pages. So we're at 27-23. Then we got Guild. This took me by so much surprise as just as this one. But the reason why is because I was really reading it for the aspect of the book and not deeply reading it. I think this year, honestly, I was only really reading a book. I was really just immersed in the story that I was so deep in the story that I forgot plot twists could happen. And this took it by the cake. You mean to tell me that the last 100 pages, girl, Miss Raven Kennedy, Guild, the Plated Prisoner series, book 1, you waited until the last 100 pages to reveal to me this girl had powers? And I didn't pick up on that at all? Didn't pick up on it at all. At all. But how I feel about this book then, I was super scared to read it, but I was like, let me read it, let me really get into it and really read it and call it a day. And I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I read it because how I feel about the book now, although I only buy this copy of the book, I'm gonna read the series because she's just that good, girl. Come on. Just that good. And understand that. Understand that. Love this down. And to add the page numbers and to tell y'all something else about it, that we got 299 pages. We're at 3,022 pages. Just to let y'all know that this really did open my eyes to a lot of different fantasy. Because I think after I read the Zodiac Academy and Guild, I think I really wanted to go on a kick of reading only fantasy. And I almost did. And I'm glad I didn't because I would have tired myself out. But I loved both of those books. Those two were just so good to read. that I was not disappointed at all. At all. Yeah, not disappointed at all. I was ready to read both the next books back to back. I started a lot more series than I could read or even finish, if that makes sense. I started a lot of series this year, and I'm glad I did because it really opened my eyes to some new authors that I really wanted to get into and just didn't have the chance the year before. So I'm glad I did. Next, we got my favorite. Next, you're gonna get into the top 3 reads of the year. Can't even lie to you, girl. Can't lie to you. First, we got For the Fans by Nyla K. Y'all see that special edition? Got that for Christmas, girl. We ain't playing around her. We ain't playing around her. Chapter 16 and chapter 26, favorite chapters, hands down. The way I feel about this book when I read it, and even now more, that it's on my TBR to reread for this year. Don't ever play with the cat. Don't ever play with the cat. Ever. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. This was amazing. Amazing. I love Kyron. I love Avi. I love Kyron's sister. I love Avi's best friend. Those 4 really made the book for me. Because it's like, girl, how'd you get fur in the back of an animal? That's how I feel about this book, because you do no wrong in this. You do no wrong. And the story behind Kyron and why he was the way he was, loved to see the story unfold the way it did, because it sheds light on a serious topic when it comes to how some religions will battle homosexuality. And this was great. Great! You can't tell me otherwise. Nyla K is just that gal, okay? She's that girl. I might even read it with the audiobook this year, but I've heard snippets of it on TikTok. And you know what? We're gonna read it with the audiobook this year. We're reading it with the audiobook this year. This had 501 pages, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading some more Nyla K this year. I already have one more book of hers called The Alabaster Penitentiary Distorted, Book 1. I have that on my TBR for this year. If y'all see my video of my 12 must-reads of 2026, go read that, because I definitely have that ready for me to read from her, because I like her. I like her. She knows ball. She plays ball. All right. So now we're at 3,523 pages. Number 2 in the top 3 goes to, going 3 for 3, Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. She blew me away in this. I was upset. I was angry. I was happy. I was anxious, emotional, and just downright all the way through. I was at the edge of my seat because everything that was happening, and I was really paying attention to this book. I was really paying attention so much more than I did in Iron Flame and in Fourth Wing, that everything that was happening, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, you put that 2 together. I was surprised by some things that happened, but throughout the entire book, I knew Xaden was leaving. And even though he left, and I knew it was coming, it still hurt all the more. It still hurt all the more. Because at the end of the day, why would you leave your woman like that? Why would you leave your woman like that? Just say you don't love her. Just say you don't love her. If you say you don't love her, I'll like, damn. She wrote this, and she wrote it for me. Because throughout the entire book, I loved how every character made sure Violet was okay after losing her mother. And after a grief and a loss like that, you do need that. You do need that. You need that. Because I related to Violet so much in this book that when I was reading the end of Iron Flame and Mama Sorrengail was dying, it was around the same time the things that was going on with my mom. So I was emotional just reading that. And then reading her grief after my mother's passing, so much more emotional. This book was great. Rebecca did no wrong in this book. Know that. Know that. Personal opinion, she did no wrong in this book, and I love her down for every page in this book. And Darna leaving broke my heart. And I do have an announcement for Miss Rebecca. You touch Riddick in the next book again, we will be fighting at your book signing. You see how I did that rhyme there? Don't play with me. Please. I need this man to be alive throughout this book. These next 2 books, let this man live. Give him a loss, but let him live. Give him a loss, but let him live. You see what I'm doing? Please. Please. I don't need it. Liam! Don't need that. I don't need it. Stop it. You don't have to kill everybody off every time you start writing. Put the keyboard down when you start thinking about death to Riddick. And that's all I got to say. And that should answer the questions we have for the beginning anyway. Y'all already know my answers. This had 527 pages. Let's add that up. We're at 4,050. Number 3 at the pyramid, Quicksilver by Callie Hart. When I say this girl, she folded her whole body in this book when she wrote this. She had to be in the middle of the ocean writing this. Because I did not want to leave a page until I got to the end of the chapter of this book. Because every time I get tired and I'm like, okay, I'm done reading for the night, girl. I'm gonna put this down. Wrong. Something else happened. We got Kingfisher saying something to Saris. Saris saying something to Kingfisher. We got Carrion. If you know, you know. And we can't forget our baby Onyx, our little fox baby. We love him. But this was good. The heartbreak I felt for Kingfisher and what he did for his people, it reminded me of Octavia and Clark in the 100, if you will. It reminded me of those 2 girls because they sacrificed their morality and their humanity to save their people. And that's kind of what he did. He saved his people by giving a part of himself up for years. For years, girl. He did that for his people. He did that for his people, and how I feel about this book then and now. It's the same. I love this down. I have the same edition like this for the second book that I looked for 4 or 5 days. Because Target didn't have it. Barnes & Nobles didn't have it. And you wouldn't believe where I found it. I found it in Walmart. And y'all know I hate Walmart. But they had a good price. They did. And this was 627 pages. So, we're at 4,677 pages, and we're at the final book of the year. This I read right at the end of December, right like a week before New Year's. And that goes to God of Pain, Legacy of Gods, Book 2, written by Irina Kent. This was amazing. And I say that for all the books. But this was great. I enjoyed this thoroughly. I couldn't get enough of this book. This was great. The stories that were told from both Creighton and Annika's point of view, the things they struggled with, the things they did for each other as they're struggling with their own personal issues so they could be together, was amazing. Now, if you know anything about Nick and his reading, he hates a 3rd act breakup. Hate it. It should be illegal to write it. But I'm going to finish it every time. Because there's no way I'm not finishing it. And the 3rd act breakup didn't even sneak up on me. I felt it just creeping up in my spine, right here, y'all. In my spine, I felt it. And when it happened, I was heartbroken. I was done. I didn't want to read no more, but I had to. And I finished it. It was great. They got a happy life. Is it perfect? No. And that's the great thing about it. When I read my books, it's about romance, and most of them, You have to understand, you will not have a perfect romance because there's no perfect ending. When you are in love, you're gonna have struggles, y'all. You are gonna have struggles, and this taught me that. Sometimes those struggles will be your parents. Sometimes those struggles will be yourself. Sometimes the struggles will be with your partner. But if y'all work it out in the right way, I swear to God, y'all gonna make it through. Y'all gonna make it through. Y'all are gonna make it through because this showed me that. I think my most powerful. Hold up. So, and just like I said for God of Malice, Annika, Cicely, and now for sure, Creighton, along with Remy, those are my favorite characters in this book. And in the God of series. This had 516 pages. Giving our grand total of pages read this year to a whopping 5,193 pages. Damn, that was good. But I think my most powerful reads this year, I think I'm gonna pick 4. So I'm gonna pick 4. Yeah. And it's these 4. It's these final 4. These here really did it for me. Between God of Pain, For the Fans, Onyx Storm, and Quicksilver, most powerful reads of this year because it altered, and I don't want to say brain chemistry, but it altered the way I feel about a lot of things in my emotional standpoints. That understanding not only yourself, but your partner, your friends, when it comes to those 3 categories in your life of people, and just being able to understand what they need, what you need for them, from them, what they need for you, from you, and all the way around, it really opened my eyes in these 4 books how much you can affect people around you when you are simply in love. When you are in love, whether it's with yourself, with another person, with something, it really shows you the importance of those around you. It really does. It really does, because they are going to pull you through or they're going to pull you down. And don't let them hoes pull you down. Don't let them pull you down. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. I'm really looking forward to a great reading year this year, as if I didn't already have one. I want to be able to enjoy all the books that I've read. I did read 11 books, and I want to read 18 books this year, and I really want to do it. So I hope everybody enjoyed this. I enjoyed this. I'll see y'all in the next video. Please stay updated on my TikTok, mainly my TikTok, and YouTube Shorts and Instagram as I start uploading to those very slowly. But other than that, I hope everybody enjoyed it. Y'all have a great day. I love y'all. Goodbye now. Say bye to Majin Buu. Have a good one.